leg falls
And
out.
We can go upstairs here.
Yeah. He's very much in style.
I know. I dress him up every time.
Can I get him to sit on the other side of you so I don't have to stare at his knees? Because they'd be behind the table and I wouldn't have to look at them.
Right in style, Wayne.
Holy
Right
knees
in
bother
style.
you.
Okay, it's 6:30. I'll call the meeting of the Newport Select Board and the Newport School District Board to order. Would you please stand for the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are we on TV? So I would just explain to members of the community who are here, who might be watching at home, that this is a combined meeting tonight with the purpose of going over a memorandum of understanding dealing with the bus barn. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Paul.
Okay, so while I didn't start this mess, I created or stole boilerplate for the MOU that we're looking at. I was hoping to just go down. There are a lot of things that I think we're in agreement with, and there are a couple minor changes that certainly aren't issues. So, number one, that the district will occupy the two eastern bays, also called the space of the garage, to store buses and related parts and supplies. The district shall have access to the bathroom facilities for its staff. I assumed, never assumed, the school has requested that we add within the garage facility, which is fine, I think.
Yep. Just a question, Paul. Do we want to just 1, 2, 1, and then we all good on it, and then move on?
Oh, that's
or
fine.
Discuss one and then hammer it out and then move on. So at the end of this, we're done.
Yeah, that was fine. I just I read the first one because there was no counter proposal, so I assumed we were. But yeah, we can stop in between and ask.
Just
Yeah, sure. So, any issues with number one?
No.
Number two as amended. I think, like I say, I implied it, but spelling it out is certainly fine.
it's fine.
Fine.
Number three, the town shall be responsible for the maintenance and repair of the exterior garage structure and its mechanical and utility systems. Hearing no issues.
It's kind of not accurate because we'll have our own heating system, we'll have our own electricity, so
Exterior though.
the exterior, yeah, I agree with that.
The utility, the utilities that I would add. Mechanical, so I don't disagree. So we could drop that if you wanted.
Are there outside mechanical and utility systems? Because this starts out talking about the exterior garage structure.
It says, and its mechanical and utility
Yeah,
system.
yeah.
No, I don't think there are any mechanical outside.
Okay, so then I guess you could drop it.
Yeah. So drop
It's all right.
mechanical.
Steve, is that all right with you guys?
I don't see any reason why not.
Drop mechanical.
Yeah, we'll see.
Moving on, number four, the district shall be responsible for maintenance and repair of interior non-structural items within the occupied space. Number five, the district shall be allowed to make interior renovations to the space as necessary for its operation. All renovations shall be subject to issuance of a building permit and should be in compliance with appropriate building codes. Any structural renovations affecting the integrity of the structure shall be stamped by a licensed engineer. The theory there is just, so we had talked about agreements, but if you want to put it in an engine hoist and it's going to be strapped to a 2x6 in the just the regular rafters, we'd want that stamped.
Would make it less expensive. Could we use a 2x4?
If you want it.
We do anything once.
No problem.
So if that's all right?
I don't mean to make light of that.
No,
Every so often I gotta throw it.
the lighter we make this meeting, the better we are.
Okay.
So, and I apologize to NCVT for stopping the table. Number six, the district shall be required to get prior town approval for any renovations to the exterior of the garage. Any such renovation shall be subject to adding the same requirements as the interior improvements in section 5.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Let me ask a question about this first. Is the lighting outside that building sufficient to protect our people in dark times?
I would say yes.
Okay. In that case, I can't anticipate any modifications to the outside of the building.
Okay.
Until we put a big sign up that says Steve's Place.
Number 7, the district will work with the public works director on any exterior non-structural use of the garage lot for the storage of additional buses or equipment. So the school district has requested beyond the capacity the district is currently using as of September 2023. My only problem with this was, I don't know what the capacity is, but if the bus manager decides, I want to park the buses here, and it's right in the middle of a plowing lane, or we need enough room to swing the grader around or something, that's why we put that in there. So I guess beyond the capacity, I don't disagree. If you're going to bring in 6 extra buses, we're going to need to talk about it. But even the current buses that are there, we just need to work together and make sure they're in the appropriate place.
How many are there extra that you have? You put 4 in the garage.
There's 6 outside, those are all broken windows.
Yeah,
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm sorry.
there's 7 inside, right?
No, 7 outside.
7 outside, okay.
Can't
They
put
missed
7
one?
inside.
Wow.
They left one alone.
How many do we have inside?
Behind the building.
Oh.
Inside we got
Well, now they know. Yeah, well,
5.
Yeah,
5.
yeah.
So what's going to happen with the broken window buses?
Well,
We are
let's
currently in
go.
the process of fixing them, so.
We're going to keep the broken windows and trade the buses in.
Well, I didn't know if they were junk, and you could just call
No.
the junk guy and
Now, 3
they
had
disappear.
Well, windows don't make junk.
Yeah, 3 of them are being
Air
disposed of
Air conditioning, that's
right
right.
now.
So
Yeah.
what is the capacity as of September? How many outside?
7.
Is it a number or is it a space? Because,
Well, I was hoping that we
Because-
wouldn't make that change, because it really deals with the existing buses as well as any new ones. We just need to make sure they're in the appropriate place for everybody.
so you're striking what's in yellow.
I'm suggesting that. So it will just be going to work with public works director on anything outside where it's going to be.
well, school hypothetically, over the next 100 years, 50 years, right, triples in size, and now all of a sudden it's, the whole outside space is full of buses. That, I don't think, is what is intended
That
here.
could
So-
happen with all the apartments you guys are adding to the town.
So would that, do we want to have a number, not have a number? Do we just have space, or?
I don't know that I would put a number on. I mean, because you get it, if you put a number, but you've got minibuses versus, I mean, the 14-seaters versus the 42-seaters, and so I don't know if I'd even.
I think
put
there
that.
already is a number on there. Beyond the capacity the district is currently using as of September 2023.
And
We
what
have
is that
7
number?
buses.
7.
Yes.
Okay, so
So
that,
anything beyond
Beyond
that,
the
we
7.
would need to, yes, that's what we're stating on this.
We can always revisit that as circumstances change, which inevitably are going to happen. You know.
so if we added beyond the 7 bus capacity, the district's currently using as of September 23.
Right.
Good.
I would agree.
Otherwise,
Steve, you agree with that?
Well, my concern more is the district will work with the town's public works director. Like, what do we mean we'll work with? That could mean we could ask and they say no, and then that's the final answer?
Well,
Is that what we're saying?
He's our liaison in terms of you communicating what might be potential issues, okay? So if you're going to add 3 more buses in that area, you know, there's got to be some discussion somewhere.
No,
about how you
I understand
park.
that. My
Okay.
question is, work with is not really definable.
So do you want to ask, for us to ask you to move them when it snows, so we can plow around them, or not ask you to move? I mean, that's the definition of working with, about a line of communication about,
I
working.
understand what work with means.
Okay.
This is a document that 6 years from now, when none of us are around here, or 40 years, work with is just kind of Is it coordinate and,
I like the word coordinate. Very good, Steve.
'cause work with is just,
Okay, let's change it to coordinate.
Well, I also wonder on that, in the same way that you do, Steve, that it's very subjective, because I'm not so sure that if they say no, that doesn't end up being a board discussion instead. I mean, we're not really talking about moving for snow and things like that. We're talking about taking additional space.
right.
I'm not sure that isn't a higher level discussion at that point. It's more of a board discussion as opposed to just asking a director, can we or can't we? And all of a sudden, we find there's 6 extra buses down there because he says, yeah, sounds good, and then there's a problem. So I'm not really sure if
Well,
that is well enough defined.
But I'll use this, Jeff, I hear what you're saying, but we need to have a liaison. We're gonna bring the board together every time we're gonna
Well, this is
have
for
some issues.
this is for additional space. This is all this is asking for. As I read it, it's to work the
Beyond the
town
capacity, if they're gonna bring in new buses,
non-structural use of the garage
just
lot.
coordinate.
I mean, I
So-
think the key is to make sure that both the school district and the town can operate effectively out of that
Yeah.
space. And that any interference or such can be addressed down there. It doesn't have to come back to.
If that's what the
Less
question is,
sitting
I
around
wasn't so.
deciding Which parking spot people use.
I wasn't sure that that's what that question reads like. To me, it reads like it's looking for additional space for more. It's
I read it as
capacity
making
question.
sure that, both entities can operate properly out of there with the equipment they have.
Wayne,
But they've been doing this since 1980,
doing what?
with the buses and the highway. And they really haven't had a problem.
We're just talking if they go with additional
Yeah,
capacity.
but I mean-
That's all. I understand that.
Yeah, and right now, they've got 2 buses they're gonna be trading in. Okay, already got your new buses, right?
No.
Or they're coming in? Okay, so, yeah.
Those
I
really,
mean, in the future years, they're gonna have new buses, because this school's gonna grow,
Yeah.
so,
Yes, but where you have the bus drivers.
if they have bus drivers, yeah.
Barry, I think we're at a good point in the, you just brought in a new public works director, so it's almost like, okay, this is where the buses park, this is where the employees park here,
Yeah.
and then if, the new public works director's like, hey, we got some new piece of equipment, or something's gonna change this, then basically the superintendent, the town manager, and the director would get together and say, okay, how can we work this out? I need that spot where that bus already sits for this new whatever, because I can't see that as an issue. Like, yeah, okay, we can work around this. Obviously, we have the 7 spaces or whatever. Yeah, down the road, things might be like, hey, we need to add another bus. I don't think it will be a huge deal.
Yeah, I mean, you get 7 extra buses now.
Right.
Despite the building that we have going on, I don't think they're gonna fill up 7 buses. To be honest with you.
So I almost feel like some of that is like if there's any, issues, it's just the,
Oh,
our employee, they get together with the public works director and figure it out. And I know in some situations that might not work out if we go back in time, which we don't want to as a town, and then it would just come to a board, right? Because
yeah, then it can
ultimately
come
we
to
have
the
the
board.
decision-making
Yeah.
power on the thing, but
Or first to the 2.
yeah.
powers.
I mean, it's, because who knows, maybe the public works director now is like, hey, let's just change things a little bit. Can you guys not park your personal cars right here? Can you put them right here?
Yeah.
Because I want to put the sand here, whatever. I just don't see how that would be a huge,
Yeah.
just, the department heads work together, and
Yeah.
Would
Good
that be
points, yeah.
coordinating with?
I think so. I think that's a good one.
Could we maybe just change that to something like, for the use of the garage lot for logistics and/or storage of additional buses and/or equipment? Because if we're talking about moving things for snowstorms and things like that, that's not the same as storage. So if we're working that into the same phrase, that we're talking about possibility of asking someone to do something outside of storage.
Well, we've been doing that down there for years with the people anyway. I mean, the grader guy one time came and asked me if I moved 2 buses for him. I'm like, sure, where'd you let me put them? We did that, it worked out well, and they said, okay, you can come back now.
Yeah, I don't see any.
We do that all the time.
The other thing
And I'm not driving now, but
The other thing I suggested was during a snowstorm, the buses are all gonna be there, and the plow trucks are gonna be out and about. That's probably a perfect time to get them into the garage for servicing. Whether they might be a week or 2 early, or a week late. At least you keep them, just to help coordinate that kind of space and usability.
See, in the wintertime, we're gonna try and keep the online buses in the garage anyway, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, because we don't wanna have to be standing on top of the bus shoveling ice off of it. I've done that, it's a really scary process. And somebody's gonna get killed doing that one day if we keep doing it. So I'm in favor of keeping as many buses in the garage as we can, and keeping the, I'm gonna call them offline buses, I don't know what else to call them. Offline buses out there, out of the lanes of traffic, out of the way of parked vehicles or parking vehicles. So, it works, we make it work.
Do you use, Steve, the outside buses, are they used for like driving for sport events and things like that?
Yeah, the ones that aren't slated to be sold.
Okay,
So
I
different
understand
things.
that,
So
but I'm
if-
just seeing what they use it for.
Yeah, if a bus breaks down,
Yeah.
extra bus, things like that.
Just driving to athletics is becoming an issue for a lot of schools.
You want to reread number 7, Paul?
So, number 7, the district will coordinate with the Public Works Director on any exterior non-structural use of the garage lot for storage of additional buses or equipment beyond the capacity the district is currently using as of September 2023, parentheses 7.
Yeah, I'd put 7 in there.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to take literary license and skip number 8 for a minute. Number 9, the district should pay the operating and utility costs for the space and for the cost of separating the electrical system from the overall garage system. Number 10, the town school is carry general liability coverage for the minimum and all.
I'd say it's kind of not needed, but if Primex wants it, then
Yeah, if they want it.
clearly we're gonna have
Yeah.
insurance.
We don't want
Right.
anything interfere with
Yeah,
it.
that works.
Neither one of us wants to cut the one, the other one. That's the big one. So any questions on that? So number 11, this agreement shall be automatically renewed every 5 years, subject to review. And then further, the district can cancel the agreement already subject to payment of the CAM charge for the final fiscal year of the space occupied values. So that's skipped. The CAM charge, that's the issue with that last sentence. But the cancellation. Before.
So just say the district can cancel the agreement in writing.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to put time frame in there or not. I think I'd actually like to come back to this one after we negotiate number 8. And then we can do that. So then number 12, the district will work with the director of the garage. And I don't see it that
So you're saying cross that, you want to cross that out?
I think so. I mean, if down the road we come up with some agreement where we fund a new mechanic and maybe we split the cost or something, it would be a separate agreement, but pull it from the actual bus barn.
Yeah,
Would be
I
my
think it's necessary.
suggestion.
Not the bottom. It's not the town's
You still
responsibility
have
to
it?
work on our buses.
Yeah, there's 3 of us.
We have 3 mechanics now. We have 3 mechanics right now. People that are able to work on buses.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
You gonna issue striking?
Pardon me?
You have an issue with striking number 12?
Not really, as long as we have our guy.
Our mechanics are also bus drivers. We have 1 that's a full-time mechanic. The other 2 are bus drivers, but they can do mechanical.
They can do mechanical.
Yeah.
Do they know anything about graders?
I'm sorry? They probably do.
Borrow one every once in a while?
I know one of you guys does. Because you follow
I operated
that
one
grader.
day, I dug a hell of a deep hole, had to get a crane to get it out.
So agreement number 12 won't be added in?
I don't have an issue with it if y'all don't have the mechanic.
We can let it go.
Yeah,
I say, someday if we can work together and share something, maybe that would be, I mean.
I would hope as time goes on, we can all work together.
Yeah.
I think that's a key, being able to resolve issues by
But
working
one time,
together.
not all too many years ago, we did that.
Right.
Dan O'Neill was town manager last time I think we were doing it. Had no problems with it. So I would hope we could get back to a deal like that. We don't have to sit down and scribe everything on a piece of paper and have shake-hand agreements with people and operate smoothly.
So back to number 8. Listening to the meeting, I wasn't at the meeting that day, but listening to the meeting on NCTV, there was some discussion of costs, operating costs, and those kind of things. Currently right now, our current operating expenses, the insurance, the septic system, for operating the well, plowing, and then the security cameras. We're taking electric out by this agreement, so I'm not listing the electric, but that was there. So those were the.
Can you say it again, please?
Sure, insurance, septic system, well, plowing, and security cameras. And then long-term items, we have the roof, and then the well, the septic, the parking lot, and the security cameras. We, in the last 4 years, put out $180,000 into the roof. So right now, those are costs that the town would bear. I think if the septic system fails, we're going to need to get it fixed. And then listening to the conversation that day, it made sense to me to have the common area maintenance charge, realizing that space isn't free and it's a potential future cost. One of the things that I would like to do, I've talked to the chairman about it, I haven't talked to all the members of the board, is I would propose that the town, at our next town meeting, would put forth a capital reserve fund. And we would take whatever it is that's in this agreement and put that into the capital reserve fund. So that if the septic does fail, we would be the agents of that fund, so we could just do it without not waiting until the next town meeting. Because if the septic fails or the well fails, we're all out of luck. So that's my proposal, would be to have, I don't know, 5,800 with the annual kicker is the number, but some number to acknowledge that space isn't free and would be used towards future repairs and maintenance that are gonna happen. It's up.
And perhaps, go ahead, Jeff. If we're setting up a enterprise fund for maintenance of the building and if the school's kicking in, say, 5,000 or 6,000, then I would suggest it would be appropriate that the town side kicks in, say, 10 or 12,000, so that that fund gets built up by both entities, so when the roof needs to be done or the septic system fails.
I would agree.
There is the funds there that both parties have been contributing to.
Right.
5,800 came, actually, I believe, that figure came from your former business manager suggesting that.
The 5,800 is what was in the agreement since 1998.
Yeah.
So that's where that number came from. There was talk months ago about, okay, we've had 15 years, let's take 3% for 15 years, that's where the 10, whatever the number was, came up with. Let's not fight about that. We have a number in this agreement that we can come to an agreement on, and then we'll squirrel it away for the purpose of that building, because we know we're going to issue something.
Well, I think this, lends itself to the discussion we've had many times about the water and sewage treatment plant, other things where we haven't put money to the side. And by doing this, as you suggested, Jeff, is that take both sides and put some money into it, and basically an escrow account. That makes those sudden things not be so detrimental when they happen. I think it's an excellent suggestion. I appreciate it.
I mean, for me, that's a lot more agreeable because taking that money and we're directly putting it aside for if we need a septic, if we need a well, if we need whatever, the roof or whatever.
So we're not on town water out there then?
No.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you are, actually.
Technically, yes.
Technically, yes.
We're using the aquifer.
We're using the.
Oh, okay.
It was a town well.
There's no pipe that goes to that building other than from the well.
It's not a matter of if, but when with those items.
It really is. That septic system has not, it's been, the tank has been emptied, but it's 40 years old.
It's not if,
45
but
years
when.
old.
Holy crow.
It's a commercial building, it's not like people are taking showers there and baths and such.
No, but we've got 14 and 15, 16, we've got 16, and the bus drivers, you've got 8 at least, so you've got, I mean, you're in the 20s
But
of
it gets a
people.
weekend, the thing gets the weekend off.
True.
But it's the coffee hours.
It's 40 years old.
Of course, now that you
We're
mention
living
it-
on borrowed time.
It's not
Now
if,
that
but
you mention
when.
it, it's gonna fail next week.
Yeah.
So, I throw it up.
Don't pray for that.
We'll have to find someone that knows.
Yes, ma'am.
So, if that was the case, wouldn't that contradict what number 3 says?
That's just the building.
Right.
Oh, that's,
It
that,
says the town shall be responsible for the maintenance and
Mechanical and
repair
utility systems.
Right.
of the exterior garage structure, which is considered the roof, and its mechanical and utility systems.
And now you know where it's gonna come from for the money.
agreed, and that's why,
That's
because
it
the
just
other
sounded
option would
like it
be,
contradicted itself, that's why I wanted
Good
to make
point.
sure that,
Yeah.
now, I use responsible as, we're gonna do the work, you're gonna come knocking on our door saying, hey, our roof is leaking, the town's gonna take care of it.
okay.
How that's paid for could be different. I mean, that's, in my world, a different fight or a different discussion. You guys could put forth a capital reserve instead of paying the town, but it just seems like,
It's smarter to put it into
Next
one
to that, put a
account.
special
One-
meeting to take the money out.
yeah.
Well, unless we could do a capital reserve that the board has control over too. Right now, you guys just have it that the town has control over, but we can do a warrant article for our own that you have. So if you wanted to put this money away, if we wanted to take the money and put it in our own, we could do that, and then the board could then vote if something is to happen to move forward. So we don't have to put it in a town's.
As a trustee of trust fund who's gonna hold one or two, I'd rather hold one.
Yeah.
And I think it would just be cleaner to just have the one, here's the account.
And if the school, you set up your own fund, you would then be transferring that money to support a town building. You know, it's leaving you'd be leaving the district at that point and such, and it is a town building that gets done, and it may raise some questions somewhere. It's like, well, why is the school paying for a town building? If it's set up as part of this, you know, then as Paul said, it's cleaner. It's all going into one fund, managed by the trustees of the trust fund for one purpose, to maintain the building.
And it's written out right here in this document and what that fund will be for. So you should be protected there.
Well, it's not, it's just written out as common area and the structure as a whole. It doesn't list septic, well, security cameras, plowing, roof, parking lot, maintenance.
So,
How deep in the weeds do we want to get with that?
Well,
Yeah, I would add though, like I would just add what, I think either
well,
it's,
I guess, could we just, I mean, you guys have suggested striking it. If we change it, there'll be no rental cost, for the space, the district agrees to pay an annual amount to offset expenses from number 3 of this agreement.
Yeah,
Or some, I mean, I'm just on the fly here, so I'd have to think about wordsmithing.
Keep it simple.
By a capital reserve fund anyway.
What was that, Jeff?
The plowing expense would not be covered from a capital reserve fund.
Right, it would be
It'd only be,
It's an operating.
well,
expense.
that kind of thing. I'm gonna say, if you're like, hey, you wanna get new garage doors, I'd be like, all right, well, that's not gonna come out of that fund, but it would come, unless they're going on the front of the whole building or whatever, but like, right, for the common things that we're using, the well, the roof and all that, well,
And then that would take care of Heidi's concern about number 3, talking about the town building.
I also think, should we all be so fortunate that this goes long enough, that there's enough money in that fund, that that's both contributing, that when a major thing comes up, we actually have it. If it's next year, we're gonna be short. So,
I mean,
That's our responsibility.
yeah,
the roof is fairly new, the structure, I would imagine, is fairly sound.
yeah.
You know, the septic system could fail any time, but if you have a year or two worth of funds in there, you're better off than having nothing.
Oh, I
Than having to
I
build.
agree. That's why I said, should we be so fortunate, you know, that it goes enough for that to build?
Okay, so I've sort of lost my way here with, what were you saying? What was that, Jeff?
Working on 8, number 8.
Yeah, I know. I haven't lost, I'm not that lost. But we talked about 5,800 from the district, right? And then it was brought out that we would contribute an equal amount, is that what you're saying?
Well, I guess
Is
so
that what you're
now,
proposing?
what I'm thinking in this agreement, we might word it as the district will pay a number which the town will hold in reserve for repairs and maintenance as designated in number 3 of this agreement.
I think what I said when I was saying we should contribute, I think since we are using 2/3 of the building, we should contribute an appropriate amount, like twice what the school is. So,
I don't disagree with that at all.
so that
Yeah, me either.
there's, if you're doing the roof, you want to do the whole roof.
That's a big hit.
Right. And
Yeah,
we just
And it probably,
and we just did it 4 or 5 years ago.
3 years ago.
So
I
we
just
are-
asked Paul that question.
Right, so should be good for another 15, 20 years.
Hopefully.
But it would be nice to start saving
Yes.
$10,000 a year towards that.
yes.
Absolutely.
So you're saying 5,000 each?
I would,
I like the 2/3.
I like this.
I like the 2/3.
Now we
That's
come
gonna
up
be a
with
warrant
everything
article
except-
from our side.
It would be a warrant article. I'm saying hold in reserve, I'm not saying capital reserve, because this agreement can't tie the town to a capital reserve, but that is how I would recommend the town would process it.
Their money would go into that fund, but if we wanted to do 2/3, we would have to do it as a warrant article.
It's also somewhat just automatically implied in this agreement, the town is paying for it anyways, regardless, so if the school's contributing with or without savings, we're paying for it anyways, but this does put the reserves
That's exactly
aside.
correct.
and the implication is, because they've been contributing, even if it's not enough, the town is obligated to
We're,
make those.
right, we're
Correct.
obligated to maintain the building.
Right, but it still is good to have that reserve, as we talked about with the sewage, I think. But should the warrant article not pass for some reason, we still are responsible to pay for it regardless.
I mean, we are in a fortunate position, most of our buildings, I think all of our buildings have new roofs, a lot of the infrastructure is current. And pretty much for most of our buildings, all of them, we should start the capital reserve.
So, any other comments, Steve, from you or members of your board about this?
Y'all are okay with 5,800 as the
Hauling
start?
that around some.
no,
If-
sounding now, yeah, but.
We're gonna
I'd
put
like
in
to concept
5,800
of
per
what-
month?
No,
Year.
Per year, oh, okay.
Year.
Okay.
If you want to put 5,800.
We're gonna get ahead of it a little bit, sure.
We're not going for that kind of roof.
Taj Mahal roof. Okay.
I mean, it seems like we're amenable to it, I don't know about the amount yet.
Like that we'd have
Make
to.
it 6. Nice even number.
No, we're not gonna make it 6. I won't vote for 6. I won't vote for 5,800, I'll just tell you right now,
We
that's.
just said 5, Steve. Might want to grab.
I know, well, it's
grab
50, I'm looking at it on the sheet,
Yeah.
it says 5,800.
So we're gonna still do 2/3?
See, I don't.
So if
I
they
don't
did
know what
5
an
and we
equitable
did
number
10,
would be, but I understand this number
That's
came out
15
of
grand a
history
year.
from someplace.
That's what we were paying previously.
For our rent?
Yeah.
Right.
Since
We were paying
98.
5,800 a year for rent.
And we're gonna continue paying that same amount.
No, that's what the proposal is. I
For
mean,
maintenance.
we could if y'all
Not
want
rent,
that.
maintenance. You're not paying anything for rent.
No, I understand.
It's maintenance.
although we haven't had the dollar yet.
Don't.
Because we don't have an
I'll
agreement.
throw the frickin' dollar at you.
You need to donate it to them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, donate it to us and we'll give it back.
Tax deduction, $1. Yeah.
So for you guys to do a capital reserve, it has to be a warrant article, like a one-time thing, or do you have to do it every year?
Every year.
I think we need 2 warrant articles, one to set it up, and then one to.
Well, you can,
put money in.
the first year, you can do one to set it up and fund it.
We've done that for years on
I am
campus.
old school that we used to just put capital reserves through the budget. There are many places in the state that do that. Previous management, after my last stint, wanted more articles for everything. I would like to go away from that, just budgets, but we'll fight that battle.
I could support you on that.
Fund it too.
We haven't, and there better be, if we say 5,000 and 10,000, there better be 799 people voting for it at town meeting.
Yeah, it would just be nice that if we're gonna do it that way, that it's actually in a separate fund as a capital reserve, because that's the whole point of it, right?
Yeah.
So that way, 5 years from now, we get stuck in a position, it's not like, well, now we're scrambling, how are we gonna make this work? We're like, we already got it covered, it's all good, like.
We've really done well through capital reserve processes and paying
I know.
for things like ambulances, things of
Fire
that
engines,
nature,
so-
fire
We've
engines.
been doing that for a long
Yeah.
time.
However, on the flip side, if town meeting says no, on the accounting side, I can still have reserve fund balance because I have an agreement that says I'm going to reserve this
Okay.
much money. It won't accrue interest like a capital reserve would, but it's still legally there, bound by this agreement.
Mhm.
Can you, Paul, sorry, can you tell me what you're suggesting the writing be? So I know you said the town will hold blank from the district in reserves for the,
For maintenance and repairs as noted in number 3 of this agreement, section 3 of this agreement. Article 3, section or article.
Number 3.
Third item, anyway.
If you wanted to read that, Mac, so. Because I didn't write it.
the town will hold blank, we have talking about amount of money.
Yeah.
The town will hold so much money from the district in reserves for the maintenance and repair as noted in number 3. That's what I have written down right now.
You get that, Maura?
And what number are you on?
8. So,
I might add the word annual in there.
Annual,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
so
$5,000, or, well, whatever, annually.
yeah, it's somewhere you have to get the district to pay. 'Cause it's-
Yeah, we,
Yeah. So there'll be no rental cost for the space. The district agrees to pay X number of dollars, which will be held by the town in reserve to address repairs and maintenance as noted under section 3 of this agreement.
I like it. You just gotta put a number in there.
Right.
Did you write that one down?
I didn't, Maura got it, I said it.
We were mumbling very nicely.
Ooh, ooh. So.
Just like Ben Nelson says.
So there will be no rental cost for the space.
So we're gonna say that, yeah, okay. For the are we gonna say for the common areas of the garage as the,
I was just,
You can just say space, cover both.
okay, well, I'm just, that was what our board voted on the last time, that's why I just didn't want, if we're gonna change it, you guys have to vote.
That's just because we call it the space up here,
Yeah, yeah, I
so
know,
it's defined.
because
yeah.
you guys voted to add this language in, I just, if we're gonna change it, I just wanna make sure you guys know that.
the district agrees to pay an annual amount of a number.
Oh, wait, you gotta hold on, because you're changing it on me.
Yeah, sorry.
You've got shorthand, you've got scribble hand.
Scribble. The district agrees to pay blank annually, right?
Yeah, yeah, I had an annual amount just because that's what it was. Which the town will hold, reserve to address repairs and maintenance as noted in section 3 of this agreement.
And then in section 3, you took out, and it's mechanical.
We did take out mechanical because you guys are gonna have.
But we're keeping it in structure and utility systems?
Yeah.
That's staying.
Yes.
Which also covers not using the reserve for mechanical on town side as well.
I need a new lift though, so if we could leave it. And you guys might like a lift, but we'll separate this.
Now, I've got a question. We're putting a new concrete floor into the 2 bays that we're gonna occupy. Okay? If you guys end up having a problem where you gotta dig up a bay to get at it for some reason, does this fund contribute to that?
So. I
If
think
it does, can it also cover repairs we gotta do underneath ours if that happens?
I wouldn't think this would be for our lift, but if I have a septic plug going through the system or something. or
I mean, I know you're
water line
contributing
issue
something.
or- Yeah. I would think it would be on the common systems that it would be used.
I'm good with that.
Now I'm just gonna put a number to the blank.
Well, so that brings me to just a question, sorry. So what you just said, the common systems, that's not in the statement you just made, that just says repairs and maintenance.
Or utility.
Yeah.
If there's a problem with the septic field and it has to be repaired, that's an
Yeah.
area that both sides will pick up.
Yes.
If the line going out underneath your concrete is blocked, that's a common problem that impacts both the cost of tearing up the
Yeah,
concrete
so
and
we-
repairing it.
Yeah, I misunderstood the question, so yeah, we would probably use this one.
Okay.
Either the word common or mutual.
Right, I mean, if it's something that, you know, is part of the utilities for the facility, that's a common problem.
Right, but if you have to replace your garage doors, which would be maintenance and repairs, that's not
That's on
common.
us.
That's on us.
Unless somebody suggested if we do the whole thing because we want pretty doors or insulated doors or something, we could make that common. I think we'd do that and agree with
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, you can look at garage doors as being a betterment to your section. You know, like, if we wanted fancy doors, that'd be a betterment to our side. Becomes part of the facility. Only that, but it's at our cost.
Yeah.
Much like if you put doors on.
Correct.
But it becomes part of the
Common
structure of
structure.
the building.
Yes.
So with this common fund, I guess, is it clear enough in here that, or is it just y'all make the decision on the town side? Like, just only because when you said the garage doors, if we did all of them.
Yeah.
So if y'all decided like, hey, we have these R-rated whatever doors that are gonna really make the building better, are y'all just gonna change it, pull from this fund, or is there some type of, hey, we're putting garage doors, like is it clear in here that with this fund, we'll know what you're spending the money on? Or do we
So-
not need to know? Like, do we just give up
We can
all?
certainly put in a notice.
Can I just say,
town will-
just, go ahead.
The town will notice the school for any use of the reserve fund.
Comes under doing good business as far as I'm concerned.
I don't think we'd use a reserve fund for doors though. It'd be more like well, septic, roof. You know what I'm saying? Like, and because I think if you guys are gonna get new doors, I would expect you guys to come to us and like, hey, we want to get new doors. 2 doors for your side to match ours would be this, and then I would think our board would be like, okay, like can we do it yet? And then we would do it that way. So
That's
that
what I
we're
would
keeping
think.
the money as.
I don't see doors as common systems.
Yeah,
No.
I don't either.
Well, I mean, that's what, whenever we use that as an example, that's
Yeah.
why I was,
That's why I
But
said,
we're
we
still
just-
in
Keep
a-
it common systems. It's-
That's what
it's
I
the
was thinking, because we
systems,
just
not the
replaced our
doors.
doors, so if you
It's
guys
the brick
decided
or-
next week you wanted to replace your doors, and we just spent all this money and just replaced ours.
Right.
But can I just say something
But I
that might
like
help
what you
clarify
said.
this
Go ahead,
a
Jeff.
little bit? Is that if the town's responsible for all the work, we don't get to come to you and say, we just used all the doors, we used up all your money, we need some more. So if 3 years down the road there's no money, we're still responsible for all of the work. So
Right.
it doesn't change the
Yeah.
agreement.
We've said that.
Right, I know, but we're talking about doors and things we don't really need to, because
Yeah.
if we spend it unwisely on something that someone doesn't agree with,
Yeah.
it doesn't obligate you to more money. So regardless, it's,
I mean, this is a reserve fund.
right.
A lot of the responsibility still lies with us in terms of the landlord relationship. I mean, we are responsible in regards to that. If we run out of money in this reserve fund, we're still on the hook for it.
We are.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so the issue is the amount. We've suggested 5,000 each.
Or 10 for us.
That's to be determined, I guess,
Okay.
how we do that.
If we're paying 5,000 on
You just don't
Oh,
have to
yeah.
vote on it tonight.
Is that?
You
third
don't have to
of
do
the
it
real
tonight, you
estate
have a
there.
meeting tomorrow if
Not
you
the
want to
real
meet with
estate,
all
but the
boards.
I
structure.
just have it done. I don't want to do this anymore.
Shouldn't it be a
This
portion?
should have been done 6 months ago.
Well, that's what
I
we
agree
said.
with you.
Well, the town's paying the rest
You have two
regardless,
other board members and you don't want
above the
us to meet.
5,000.
Yeah, I
Either
can
way,
see
it's
somebody
gonna
trying
be
to
that
wiggle out of that down the
I
road.
just want to
No, I
just say,
understand.
you guys don't have to.
If
It's
it's
up
not
to you what
spelled
you wanna
out.
do.
Well,
We might end up with another town manager that nobody agrees with.
Snickle like that, Paul.
you weren't referring to Paul.
No, I am not.
Thank you.
I am definitely not referring to Paul.
Yeah, and let
So-
bygones be bygones. Yeah.
so we're not doing the 2/3, 1/3, just the equal?
If you want to suggest that, we can bat that.
No,
around.
we all had suggested that, and now
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
5 and 5 came out.
Well, Jeff, you brought out the 2/3, right? Or, all right?
I think it's fair.
I do as well.
Yeah, so why don't we put that right in there? 1/3, you're going to contribute 5,000, and what's 2/3 added to that, Paul? You're the finance guy.
So
10.
it's just going to be double the amount that
Yeah.
they're paying.
Should we agree on the 5,000?
I like double the amount when the casino's paying me back after I lost.
Well, a little bit more thought. So we just got a new roof, so hopefully we won't need one for another 15 years. You know, how, like, is the water system about to collapse? Do we know? I mean, is that...
The well pumping's been done once in my 31 years. I don't remember how long. I just remember paying a bill. My biggest concern down there right now would be the septic system.
Septic? Yeah.
Nah, I think it's 4 years old. They'll keep working. You put a new one in, you'll put one in 10 years from now.
We can put in some of those green with open door things.
Well, either way, the fund is going to anticipate potential
Exactly.
septic problems. And to try to speculate how much time is left,
Oh, yeah.
I think it's
You have no way.
a waste of time. Let's just go with let's just figure out an amount and we'll go with it. Because who knows?
So
20
if you're
years from
putting
now, we
in-
may still be
Putting
using
in 5, we'll put in 10. Is that what you're saying, Paul?
So I'm saying the sentence, the town will match the reserve funds at an amount twice the district's contribution.
Excellent. Is that okay, Steve?
I don't know if I heard the whole thing, but I heard the end of it.
The town will match the reserve funds at an amount twice the district's contribution.
It's good.
So now whatever number you guys agree to, we just double.
Don't have any,
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
Will this include the building that we want, because I noticed it's not in here, that we propose to put a building outside?
No. That's separate. That's not part of this.
Yeah, I didn't know if we're gonna end up adding.
Well, that can be discussed. From answering a question, that's a separate, for us, that's a completely separate aspect.
Yeah, we have to have this before you can even start that, to put another building up.
Yeah, we have to get this done first.
We're not, I think we've said, Donna, that we are in agreement with you doing that, but this has to be formalized first. Okay?
And again, we can all work together.
No, I agree. I just didn't know because the money, right? Because we have
Pretty
maintenance and
valid,
stuff out there.
Yeah.
So that part went down through that, so I think that would help them
4,000, 3,000,
make a
7,000?
decision on the amount.
Any amount on your mind?
Well, we've been paying $5,800 as rental all along. If this is gonna go to maintain the common structures, it won't hurt us. It might help us down the road. It will help them too, of course.
Yeah, I would agree to 5 and 10.
So 5 and 10? And we keep it at that, or do we keep adding the 3%? You took the 3% thing off of there, the kicker?
3% out.
Yeah, take it out, being we're gonna use it for this.
Doesn't this get relooked at for every 5 years anyways?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So,
I'd agree to that.
You can write and tell me.
But then, so just thinking about Donna's question, I think that the discussion that I've had with one of the members is your new building tying into the current septic system, and I'm assuming using the same water supply,
Mhm.
never drilling the well. So those would be covered by this, but I don't think a roof on your new
No,
structure would
no,
be
because
covered.
Correct.
it's not town's responsibility in any aspect. Yeah.
We aren't gonna have.
And that would be the
a
common
roof
area,
anyway,
right?
we're
That
putting
would go
on,
back to
so.
the common. The roof on our building is not common for you guys, so.
So, do we need to take a vote on that?
What is the vote on, on
Or just,
accepting
or you just, or
On
you
accepting this?
No, no, on the 5,000 is
I'm good with
5
5.
for us, 10 for them?
We're gonna vote on the 10 for them too.
No, they gotta vote on that, I'm sure. Right, I mean,
So
we,
you guys reach a consensus
Consensus.
of 5, and then
We're going to vote
we
for the
vote
whole
on each
Yeah.
board votes on the entire.
entire
review.
thing.
So to answer your question directly, Steve, I'm in favor of going with the 5.
so it sounds like we're good with 5 and 10.
And it's written that they're gonna put
I like
twice
it.
in what we're putting in, so.
like it as well.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, well,
When you consider the amount of square footage of building, you know, that's equitable.
I'm all about equity.
So write you a check for $1 million so we can match it, or double match. Kidding.
Okay,
So then that moves to
It's
number
your fault,
11?
Jeff.
There. So then number 11, probably,
Can I ask to add a word in there? Review and sign, disseminated by both parties every 5 years.
Change renewed to review and sign? Or no?
Yes, review and sign.
So we're taking automatically, yeah?
Well, it's going to be, but the review is going to be,
It says renewed.
Oh, the review, but, okay. I was in my words, so. not the proposal.
Oh, I was looking at the first one.
Yeah.
When it says renewed, I was
It
like.
doesn't matter if you have automatically in there or not. You got 5
It's the,
years.
I think it's the red. It's the
So-
red after.
So this
Subject to
agreement,
review and sign.
so this agreement shall automatically review every 5 years, subject to the review of this review and signature of this MOU by both parties.
so statutorily, it has to be redone every 5 years. So, and if it's going to be statutorily redone every 5 years, it should be re-signed every 5 years.
Okay.
So that's my point. Is yes, it may automatically be redone, but it's going to have a set of signatures that say, yeah, we looked at it, we reviewed it, and here's the signature proof that we did it every 5 years. So, signed. That's
I'm
my
not
point.
being ignorant for the purpose of being ignorant, but why do we have to redo it every 5 years?
Statutorily.
Statutory.
State law?
Yes,
Oh, okay. That's the answer. I didn't.
statutorily.
So then it should be both parties will review and sign
Yeah,
every 5
review.
years, right? Because that would be the correct English,
Yeah.
right? Like, just
We'll look it over.
subject,
sign.
verb, action, whatever. Subject, action.
So can we use review and signature of this MOU by both parties?
I'd like to ask something about that. So in 5 years, during the review, since there's a review, that's the concerning part to me, someone says, town says, I'm not paying my 10 years, I'm not paying my 5. You know, what does that mean? Is this defined well enough that we are, you know, that's pretty, I know if I was doing a real estate deal, I wouldn't be comfortable with something like
It
that.
has to be re-signed every 5 years. So
Re-signed, but I don't
whatever
have a
the
review.
boards 5
Right.
years from now feel, one way or the other, will
Right.
have to be addressed by that or those boards 5 years from now.
Right.
If they want to change number 8 to read 10,000 and 20,000, or what else, right? That's going to be on the board when they review it 5 years from now.
Yeah.
This will be standing order for the next 5 years.
Or 10 years from now, 5 years after that, we have 250,000 in the capital reserve, and we say, you know what? We don't
Okay.
make it $1
Right.
and
Right.
$2, and
Right.
so.
Exactly. Conversely, it can go the other way too, of course.
Yeah.
Speaking of dollar, does this affect the dollar a year agreement
No, there's nothing to do with it.
or whatever we want?
It will, you know, I would think that once this is signed, there's $1.
This is still
Barry
gonna say
repeat it.
reviewed. This is still going to say renewed.
I'll give you 10.
Are we-
Carry it for
It's
10
up
years.
here.
Is
The
both
review.
parties, is that stating both
Signature of
boards?
the zone,
Yeah.
MOU
Okay, should we
by
say both
parties.
boards as opposed to both parties?
Yeah, but this should be the first part of the sentence.
As opposed to
This is the main
the
action.
director and the,
Reviewing it, both parties reviewing it, then it will automatically renew. Because that's what they're saying, is they want us,
Yeah. So you want to reword that to say,
I think you got it, right? The rewording, the,
number 11.
I just have this agreement shall be automatically renewed every 5 years, subject to the review and signature of this MOU by both parties.
So I think what he's saying to change it so it says, subject to the review and signatures, this agreement shall be automatically renewed every 5 years.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it is, but
Same thing.
it's proper English.
Okay.
Don't ask me about that.
right?
You're grammarian, that's fine with me. Whatever you want.
So
You can write those sentences any number of ways.
Yeah.
So subject to the review and signature of this MOU by both parties, this agreement shall automatically renew every 5 years.
So by saying that, that does not put a limit on how long the bus barn will be there.
Right. And the town has a legal opinion that 99 years wasn't legal for us to do.
But the people did vote on that.
Yeah, we don't want to get into
Vote on
that.
it,
Let's,
but- No, I'm just,
cut that.
yeah. Yeah.
But it doesn't, so it's going, this document will take the place of what the people voted?
No, it codifies the agreement in a legalized manner.
You could do the 99, but it has to be
We could-
redone
yeah.
every 5 years. It can't go more than 5
Yeah.
by statute.
99 still
So
stands.
there's where the statute
Okay,
comes.
I just
Okay, that's a good question.
asked.
Yeah, good question.
You still get the 99 years for $1.
So technically, they're renting it for $1 for
And I
99
think that,
years.
I think.
And then putting in a
Barry said it
maintenance
nicely when he
agreement.
said, the dollar is our rent.
Yeah.
This is just an agreement for everything else.
Right.
So,
So where are we? Are we,
So that,
both
Hungry.
boards need to take a vote?
both boards would need to take a vote on that.
Can we do that tonight?
Please.
I would think so.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd like to get this behind us. So
Yeah.
This board has, that board has also. We have a lot ahead of us.
it's just you and me
Yeah.
to sign it.
Yeah, budget season's coming.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
We got a lot more there before that, so. yeah.
So are you gonna read each one off again to make sure that we're all tracking the same language, or are we gonna type it up real quick so that, I mean,
Yeah, I'm not gonna sign this like this.
Yeah. If we want to read through it, just make sure that we're all on the same page, that works.
Yeah.
Number one, number one, no changes. Number two, we're adding the within the garage facility. 3, we're removing the word mechanic,
Mechanical hand. 2 words.
mechanical hand.
Yeah.
Number 4, no change. Number 5, no change. Number 6, we're agreeing to the 2 being added. Number 7, the district will coordinate with the town's public works director on any exterior non-structural use of the garage lot for storage of additional buses or equipment beyond the capacity the district is currently using as of September 23rd, parentheses 7.
does it need to say 7 buses?
Probably.
Because it has equipment
Yeah,
in the
that's
sentence
a good point,
before.
Steve.
so-
Okay. Number 8, there will be no rental cost for the space. The district agrees to pay an annual amount of $5,000, which the town will hold in reserve to address repairs and maintenance as noted in section 3 of this agreement. The town will match the reserve funds at an amount twice the district's contribution. Great. Number 9, adding the word from, the second line. Number 10, no disagreement. Number 11, subject to the review and signature of this MOU by both parties, this agreement shall be automatically renewed every 5 years. Striking number 12.
You have your hand up?
Oh, no, I was just like, that was a sigh of relief. Sorry.
So you're going, you okay?
Yeah, with me, I got the same size.
This has been over
One
a
more
year,
down,
so-
I don't know how many more to go.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we are.
So do it.
Sorry.
Roll call, starting with you, Darrell.
Motion first.
Aye.
Well, no,
Darrell
no,
Jones,
we
aye.
didn't- We still haven't did a roll call for the minutes.
Okay.
Tim Beer,
Tim Beard, aye.
Steve Morris, aye. All right, so do I have a motion on the table to accept
So-
as Paul has written?
Yeah, I make a motion to accept the MOU as Paul Brown has read into the record.
You have a second?
Roll call, or second?
All in
I'll
favor?
second. Then we'll do a roll call.
Yeah.
Darrell Jones, aye.
Tim Beard, aye.
Steve Morris, aye.
Okay, so this board,
I'll make a motion, we accept the MOU as presented by Paul.
Second.
any discussion, additional discussion on the part of the board? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
You want to talk about the other space?
A good agreement is defined by when both sides are not happy.
I'm happy.
Sorry about that.
Happy it's done.
So the second of two, I guess, other items, the district has requested bringing in a portable work trailer or something while they pour the concrete floor and work inside the building. Space, I would think the location would be worked out with the department, but I'm guessing it's going to go right along with it. And subject to fire code along the side of the building. I think it's probably going to be 10 or 12 feet. But, so that's the next issue.
And so when the concrete's done, that's going to be removed?
Yes.
The repairs inside, and if we have to do anything else inside, too.
I understand.
I'm okay with it.
Any concern on the part of the board?
That ought to be like standard operating, I would think.
Yeah,
It would have to be.
I would too. Yep. So, have at it.
Next.
You need anything else on that?
Do we want to talk about the permanent structure?
The permanent structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can't, so originally, plan was to attach something like to the next, to the end of the building or whatever, but we can't do that because if we did that, we'd have to put sprinkler systems in the whole building.
Right.
Because so what we were looking at was like a 10 by, was it even 20?
That was 10 by, was it 10 by 30?
Originally it was
I think
30,
it's
but
10
then I
by
almost
30.
thought,
I think I went to like 24.
yeah,
Something like
that we would just have kind of like I kind of look at it as like a shed. You're gonna have heat in it. You're gonna have electricity ran to it. I don't foresee.
What's it going to sit on, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just put it on a slab, and just obviously pick a spot that it works. Obviously, because it's not something that can be moved easily. Because we couldn't obviously hook it to the building, just because there's no
Wayne
way.
can move it.
Yeah. We were just not going to,
Yeah, we just tried.
spend $1 million or $2 million putting sprinkler systems in, and
Right.
that doesn't make any financial sense.
For all of our purposes, that wouldn't be a bad thing.
Right.
It would be an investment we would need to make, and maybe that would be the fund.
Maybe I was going to say, maybe in a few years.
Find that grant. Yeah, so that's the long-term plan. Having an office or whatever. Basically, it'd be the purpose of an office, break room. I don't care whatever you want to call it. Like where there's a time clock, where they can do their paperwork, where it's warm. Because right now they have a little shanty thing in there, but it can't hook to the building. It's not.
Would you not,
possible.
or could you, just throwing this out there as a thought, could you not have your work trailer become a more permanent trailer that you might be able to replace every,
We kind of talked about that
so often?
too, because it's actually a cheaper option.
Correct.
Yes, it is.
Because you can buy those usually for, you could buy a really good one probably for 10 grand. You can
And
usually
this
buy
one's
them
getting
for
worn out, in comes a new one.
right.
No pad.
And you could side it with wood.
Yeah.
Get a really nice
I'll
camper.
use the high school's old one.
Tim, you know how to do that. You
Don't
can
go
make
there.
it up really
Don't
well.
go
We'll laugh, but we've
I'm
got.
just saying, that why invest into a permanent structure?
You don't even know.
Which
Oh,
one?
we don't.
Because from from what we've been told, if we put like a trailer type of out there, the snow that comes off the roof of the main building, that would not be able to hold it.
It's a flat roof.
I don't know where
Well,
that
what's going
statement
on?
came from because there's no snow that comes down.
Yeah,
Right,
it's a
you
flat roof.
I-
You could also
have-
put a roof like that on top. It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, I have no idea. That's just what we were told at one of our meetings.
That
Because that was what we first wanted to do.
Why don't you guys come up with some ideas
Well, we want,
and
go
bring
ahead.
it to us, and we can have a nice conversation again. And
I don't want this to diminish the fact that we're saying yes to that structure. Okay? I just think, it's kind of why I asked, is that going to be removed? Because, there are cheaper ways than putting up what you're talking about. And both the town and the school board we're kind of up against it financially, so we need to do things as cheaply as we possibly can. So,
A nicely repurposed school bus.
We talked about that
no.
You guys still think bathrooms
Put
or
some
bathrooms?
hippie flags on it and.
We had wanted bathrooms in there at one time. I'm not,
too. Me personally, or I may disagree with some other board members. If we do bathrooms and do water and everything, you're going to take this from a $75,000 job with, or even $100,000 job with the concrete and stuff, and you're going to be pushing $200,000. And I'm, as a board member, personally, just me, I'm not willing to.
But if you're
I
putting
think-
a trailer out there, most of them have bathrooms in it.
So-
You can just hook it up.
I mean, we almost
Hook it
could
up to
put,
what, though?
or
Hook it up to what?
Us, the water supply with us.
We could drain it into the ground, I suppose. There's some problems with that.
Hold the tank and get it pumped out.
well,
Yes.
maybe an option two. That's more feasible.
So you've got some things you can think about, but we're not saying hold up on a permanent structure, just, yes, Donna.
so can I ask the select board then, would you give us the permission to keep the construction trailer there until the summer? And then number one, two things. We have a construction trailer on there that isn't technically ours, and if something happens to the roof, the company will, and then we'll be able to see
Yeah.
if that works.
As long as
And
it's
then
not
in the
rusted and,
Right,
you
well,
know.
no, yeah.
Right.
And in the meantime, we could come up with a more
Cousin Eddie's.
thorough plan to present to you guys.
I like it.
So it gives us more time to
Because
talk
I
as
think
a
if we
board.
could, even on these job trailers that some of them do have bathrooms in them, even if we were looking at the bathroom down the road kind of thing, I think if we had your permission to put one of these trailers there, that it's not, so technically it's not a permanent structure.
Right.
And if we could just do that, it's cheaper for us, and we get the exact benefit we're looking for. Where like if we put like say the double wide that's at the school, that kind of thing, then you have to have a slab, you have to have hurricane
yeah,
straps.
those are getting very
Costs,
expensive.
yeah, but the cost, shoots to the roof. Where we just need an office and a place that is basically where an office where Caleb can have private conversations with his bus drivers, and a place where they can do paperwork and
What's the rest of the board think? Jeff, any comment?
Let's start out with the trailer, work out where to put it, a public works director and all. Certainly, going with a permanent structure, especially standalone, you're talking about, setbacks and such, and a lot more cost just for,
Place.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I have no problem with starting out the construction trailer. I mean, we're gonna be, you're going that way anyway to start.
with, yeah.
And
As
if
long
they-
as it doesn't look like a beat up piece of junk,
We plan on renting one from a company, so we're
Company,
not, yeah, so.
Jim,
Or just
anything you want
park
to
a
say?
school bus in front of it so no one
Yeah,
sees
it's
it.
rusty hole.
Jim,
Probably will be.
Jim, go ahead.
Okay. I appreciate Tim's process on it and your thought process on it. I worry about the potential of bad precedent that we might be setting within planning and zoning and other structures that, or people that might want to do something similar, where this is probably not allowed outside of a municipal setting. So, while I appreciate it, I just think there might be some other considerations. We don't want to set bad precedent that might not be allowed outside of a municipal setting. But I think we are exempt from our own rules, so, but still, it's bad optics.
I mean, I almost think you're right. If we could do something to get us through the end of the school year, and then come summer, we come up with a plan where we put in something permanent that looks not, it fits better,
But to Donna's point, I like, set it up. If it's going to work, you'll know if it's going to work, and from there you'll know if I need to go 24 feet, no, I need to do 30. You're going to have a better sense of what your true needs are. So I got no problem letting it go longer, but it's not a permanent structure. So I see ways around how we'd get around our own rules, but that's just what my brain was for a moment. But I like it, Tim. Thank you for saving us money.
Yeah. And they're safe. Yeah.
Us money. That's,
Yeah.
let's
Jeff,
use that pocket example, right?
questions, comments, concerns?
I think just that will buy you time, once again, to look at other things, because maybe you decide there's enough roof clearance inside to get an interior structure in an office. You see that a lot of times, those warehouses where they just go upstairs, punch their time clocks, and you have an interior set of steel stairs and an office, and they maybe never has to be outside at all. So I think that, once again, that you're be in your space with your concrete floor, you'll have time with the utility trailer and see where it goes.
Keith? Oh, sorry, you done? Okay, Keith?
No, I think it's fine, you know, and again, they're just throwing some ideas on the table, and I think what they've got proposed right now is gonna work fine. And like Jim said, it's usually time to come up with a more permanent plan, which I think we're all gonna be open to hear.
I like it. I think it's a good way to begin a process. Paul, you had something you want
I
to
would
say?
just say, subject to fire codes and electrical. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An extension cord coming out under the garage door.
You sure?
Back
Really?
feeding. I
It
know
would be
what I do-
cheaper.
I know what I do at my house.
Oh, sorry. Okay, good. Is that helpful?
It's very helpful,
Good.
thank you so much.
Okay. Anything else for the good of the order? Yes.
If the good of the order there is done, I need to add a non-public for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want
You want to stay
to
or
adjourn?
just sit here?
We'll,
or-
we'll adjourn.
Okay,
Need
good.
a motion?
I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Can we have a private
Motion to
conversation
adjourn. Daryl, motion to adjourn.
with them, not on MCTV, with just them before we leave real quick?
You'd have to go into a non-public under something.
What would it be about?
Tim?
Nah, I got one right here. It might take me a second though. There's a bunch of them. I just have a question on that. So.
On what? Oh, okay, don't say it, because we're live yet.
Consensus.
I don't know which one. I don't want to do it.
That would be. Mhm. Right,
Yeah.
A32C covers a lot of stuff.
would be that one.
I don't even know what it's for.
Let me.
Yes.
Sorry.
I would go under that. Can I just pull this from you? I don't need to be
Good.
rude.
I think it's G. I think that's what
We do
we.
that non-public first. And then we'll go
That'll be
back,
super
and we'll
quick.
go
It's-
on. Yep. Yeah.
Like whenever you give us the policy
That's what,
that we can't talk about. Oh, yeah, that's an I. I.
yeah.
Under I.
So make a motion and.
All right. Do that. So make a motion to go into non-public under 91A dash 91 dash A semicolon 3 close parentheses I.
This is for emergency functions.
Thanks for listening.
Okay.
Thanks
for coming, guys.
Wayne, go sew your pants.
Second.
All in favor?
And look for.
Aye.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Oh,
Sorry. Roll
Darrell
call.
Jones, aye.
Tim Beard, I.
Steve Morris, aye. Alright, so
Let's go after this and then come back in.
I think you need to make more.
Yeah. Okay, so I would take a motion to enter into a non-public under RSA 91-A:3 to I.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Jeff?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay.
And you'll be